So everybody's been talking about Johnny Depp recently, and it got me thinking. I really miss the Lego Pirates of the Caribbean sets, and I wanted to come here and talk about them. I wanted to check what are the values on those old Lego Pirates of the Caribbean sets today. Have they grown in value? Because as we know, Lego sets, they shoot up in value after they retire. And if you're new here, welcome to BrickBucks. This is where we talk about Lego investing. We buy those sets before they retire. We hold them while the values go up over time, because there's a finite amount of supply on Lego sets, and as soon as they retire, that supply starts to come down and prices start to rise. And today I want to talk about Lego Pirates of the Caribbean. This is a Lego theme that was around back in 2011. It briefly came back to shelves in around 2017, but since 2018 we haven't seen any Pirates of the Caribbean based Lego sets, and it is a pity because Pirates of the Caribbean, in my opinion, is the perfect Lego set. It is the perfect Lego theme because Lego Group have historically loved to create pirate ship sets, right? We've always had pirate ship sets in the world of Lego, and Pirates of the Caribbean is just such a perfect brand to partner up with Lego. So we had a wave of Pirates of the Caribbean sets, and there wasn't really that many of them. There was around 13 or 14 sets in total. Today, I'm going to walk through 10 of them because some of them were kind of battle packs and small polybag sets that are a little bit less interesting. We're going to go through all of the main sets that were released in the Pirates of the Caribbean lineup. We're going to look at the current values to see, did they grow in value over time? What has happened to those values? Now, for those of you out there who have been watching values and you're already involved in the Lego investing communities, you probably know that one or two of these sets completely skyrocketed in price, right? Some of them, they did pretty incredible things in the aftermarket. So let's have a look at those. Now, before we jump in, I do want to ask you, if you're new to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button because I think you'll enjoy the videos that I have coming up soon. So hit that subscribe button. And with that, let's jump in and start talking about some of these sets. And the way I'm going to do this is from worst to best. I'm going to rank them. So we're taking 10 Lego Pirates of the Caribbean sets, and we're going to go from the worst to best when it comes to the average annual return on investment. Now, what do I mean by that? Essentially, it means if you bought it at the retail price and you sold it today, what would your return on investment be if you averaged it out over the course of the time that you had to hold that set after retirement, which is for some of these sets over 9 years. So if you sold it today and you held on to it all of that time, what is your return on investment? What is your average annual return on investment? And we're going to rank them in that way. And up first here we have Whitecap Bay. This is set number 4194. It is a set with 745 pieces, 6 minifigures, 3 of them were unique minifigures, and a price per piece of 11 cents on this one because the MSRP was $79.99. And if we divide that into the 745 pieces, we come out with a price per piece of 11 cents. Now, this set was released in May of 2011 and it retired at the end of 2012 for a shelf life of around a year and a half. And since then, obviously, it has been retired almost 10 years. The current price on eBay, when we're looking at recent sales, so it's important to look at only sold items when we're trying to gauge current values of Lego sets. When we look at recent sales in new condition, new and sealed boxes, we see around $200 of an average recent sale price. So that is the current value on eBay, approximately $200. That would be a return on investment of 113% if we bought this set at $79.99 at the retail price and we sold it today for $200. So a return on investment of 113%. But of course, we had to hold it for quite some time before we sold it. So the average annual return, if we divide that over the 9.5 years since retirement on this one, then it's an average annual return of around 12%, which is the lowest we're going to see on this list. It gets better from here. When we get into the top numbers, it gets a lot better from here. But that still beats the stock market, right? The average annual return on the stock market is somewhere between 7 and 8%. 12% is still a good investment, and this is the worst one out of this list of Lego Pirates of the Caribbean sets. So moving on now into number 9, and next up we have the London Escape in 9th position here. This is set number 4193. It has a piece count of 462 inside of the box on this one with 5 minifigures. 2 of those minifigs were exclusive to this set, and a price per piece on this one of around 11 cents because it had an MSRP of $49.99. So dividing that into the 462 pieces, of course, gives us 11 cents. It was released in May of 2011. This one retired in July of 2012, so it was around for just over a year on the shelves. And the current price on eBay when we look at recent sales on this one is around $130. So that would be a return on investment of around 121% if we bought it at retail and sold it at current value today, which averaged out over the course of the retirement of this set would be an average annual return of around 12%. So around the same as the previous set, but again, we're gonna go higher. This is the Mill. This is in 8th position. We are looking at the Mill. This is set number 4183 with 365 pieces inside of the box. Minifigs, four minifigs in this one with 2 unique minifigs. The MSRP on this set was $39.99, which gave it a price per piece of around 11 cents. This set was released in May of 2011, and this one retired in July of 2012 for a shelf life of just over a year on this one. Now, the current price on this set from that $40 MSRP, it has risen up to $125 on eBay today in recent sales, which will be a return on investment of 166% if you bought it at retail and sold it today at that price. And that would give you an average annual return on investment of 17%. And by the way, it is worth calling out that these return on investments are after we subtract the platform fees for selling, because eBay and Amazon and all of these platforms will charge a fee for selling. There will be some costs associated with your sale. We have subtracted that out, so the return on investment that we see here is after the fees. Moving on to number 7, here we have the Cannibal Escape. This is set number 4182 with 279 pieces and 4 minifigures. 3 of them were unique minifigures to this set. This had a price per piece of 11 cents with an MSRP of $29.99 on this one. Also released in May 2011. So as we can see, most of the range here were released in May 2011. This one retired in December of 2012 for a shelf life of just over a year and a half. The current price on eBay on this one is around $95 from recent sales. So going from that $30 MSRP price to a current price of $95 gives us a return on investment of around 169% after fees are subtracted, which would be an average annual return of around 18% on this Cannibal Escape set number 4182. Moving into number 6, and we have our first ship here. This is the Silent Mary. Now, this is set number 71042, and this is the only set on the list here that came out in a newer wave in 2017. So this was not part of the original Pirates of the Caribbean sets. This had a piece count of 2,294 with 8 minifigures in the box on this one, and all 8 of them were unique minifigs. This one had a price per piece of just 9 cents, the lowest that we've seen here, and an MSRP of $200. It was released in April of 2017 and retired in December of 2018. Again, a shelf life of just over a year and a half on this one. The current price on eBay is going for around $400, so that will be a return on investment of 70%. Now, again, this only retired in December 2018, which is much sooner than the other ones, or more recent than the other ones. So the regular return on investment number here looks a lot lower than some of the others, but because it was so recent, the average is brought up a little bit because it's only averaged over a shorter number of years. So the average annual return on this one is 20% over those couple of years since retirement in December 2018 on the Silent Mary set, which, by the way, is such an awesome looking set. I absolutely love this one. Really cool and really unique, the Silent Mary set. Moving into number 5, we're in the top 5 now. We have the Captain's Cabin. This is set number 4191. Piece count of 95, so the lowest piece count, smallest set in this list, with 3 minifigures. It had a price per piece of around 13 cents and an MSRP of $11.99. It was released in May 2011. It retired in December of 2012 for a shelf life of around a year and a half. And the current price on eBay on this one is around $42. So after your fees, if you bought it for $12 and sold it for $42, you would have a return on investment of around 198% for the Captain's Cabin, which would be an average annual return of 21%. Now we're getting to pretty good numbers at this point, because again, if you think about how long you held this for, the fact that it was still growing at 21% on average a year is pretty substantial. Now, usually we also see that they grow more in the earlier years and slow down a little bit later on. And so we do need to remember that, and that is of course why we saw the Silent Mary, which is a more recent set, coming in at number 5 here. So there is some of that happening, and some of these return on investments will be kind of skewed a little bit because this theme was so old, and the averages will be brought down and kind of diluted a little bit. But if you sold these sets after 2-3 years, you may do a little bit better than what we're seeing here. Next up in number 4, we have the Fountain of Youth. This is set number 4192 with a piece count of 128, minifig count of 4 with 1 unique minifigure. Price per piece on this one was quite high at 16 cents. The MSRP was $20 and was released in May 2011, retired in December 2012 for a shelf life of around a year and a half, just like a lot of the others in this wave. The current price on this one though is $110, which is really good here, from a price of $20 to $110 in eBay sales today. Return on investment will be 368% if you bought it at that $20 and sold it for $110, for an average annual return of 39%. Moving into top 3 now, and Isla De Muerta is next with 4181 being the set number. Piece count of 152, minifig count of 4. All 4 of them were unique, and a price per piece of 13 cents on this one. MSRP was $20 on this. It was released in May 2011 and retired in December of 2012. The current price on eBay today on this one is $120. So again, we have a $20 set rising up over the $100 mark to $120 for this one. That would be a return on investment of 410%. After fees, which is an average annual return of 43% on this one. Now we're getting to some really nice averages here over such a long period of time. That's actually a really impressive number for this set. Moving into number 2 now, and I bet there's no surprises out there for you Lego fans. It is, of course, the Queen Anne's Revenge, a very famous set in the world of Lego investing because it is doing so well in terms of its growth in price. This is set number 4195 with a piece count of 1097, a minifig count of 10 in this set, with 4 of them are unique. It had a price per piece of 11 cents and an MSRP of $120. It was released in May of 2011 and retired in December of 2012 for a shelf life of over a year and a half. And current prices on eBay for this one are going for around $750. Some are going for lower, some are going for higher, so it's approximately $750 in recent sales on the Queen Anne's Revenge, which is of course a return on investment of 431% on your money if you bought this for $120 while it was still on the shelves. Now, if you average that out over time, it will be an average annual return of around 45% for the Queen Anne's Revenge, and that is number 2 here. Coming into number 1, of course, everybody has been waiting. We know that it must be the Black Pearl, and this is a massive jump in terms of the average annual return from what we've seen until this point. The Black Pearl has simply gone to the moon in terms of value. This set has just performed so well. The values have grown a lot. This is set number 4184 with a piece count of 804, a minifig count of 6. 4 of them were unique and a price per piece of 12 cents. This one was a $100 set when it was on the shelves, and it was released in November of 2011. It had just a year on the shelves. It retired in December of 2012. Now currently on eBay, these are going for more than $1,000. These are going for approximately $1,050 in recent sales on eBay. So from that $100 price when it was available on the shelves to $1,050 in current value today on eBay, that would be a return on investment of 793% on your money after you pay fees, which will be an average annual return of 83%. Incredibly strong performance on the Black Pearl, way stronger than the rest of the sets we've seen up until this point. The next best was 45% with Queen Anne's Revenge, so jumping up to 83% is quite a substantial jump. But of course, it is the Black Pearl. It was only around for a year. Really good value inside the box. There's really just no surprises that this one was going to do really well as an investment, and that it did. So that is it, folks. That is a quick look over the Pirates of the Caribbean sets and what did they do in retirement up until this point. What are the current values? What would the return on investments be if you bought those sets when they were around? Now again, remember that some of this will be a little bit different if you hold sets for shorter time periods. This is quite a long time since these sets retired, so those averages will get kind of brought down a little bit and diluted. And if you invest in sets and sell them after 2 or 3 years, you're going to get a higher average annual return than some of the ones that we're seeing here, so we got to remember that. What an incredible theme, and I really do hope that we see more Pirates of the Caribbean sets in the future. It is possible, but of course we're going to be missing Captain Jack Sparrow if that happens, which will be a big pity. But amazing sets, pirate ship sets are just some of my favorites in general, and it is such a great brand to be associated with that. So if you enjoyed this video, please do hit that like button. I really do appreciate you for that. And with that, I'm Shane from brickbooks.net, and I will see you in the next one.